Hi, everybody. We are once again getting together to talk about three different things: main idea, compare and contrast, and also asking questions before, during, and after reading. So we're going to look again at some of the stuff that we've already done. On Monday, we read a book about koalas. We wrote down some facts, some details about the idea of koalas and some of the characteristics of koalas that make them what they are. So those were the details: that they have claws, they climb in trees, they eat eucalyptus leaves, and so on. Then we read this book, which tells us about how intelligent dolphins are. So we could put that as our main idea: dolphins are intelligent, or we could focus on dolphins living in the ocean, or dolphins are mammals that live in the ocean. Different main ideas, but the main thing, the real significant focus is dolphins. So we talked about comparing and contrasting dolphins and koalas. It was rather difficult. They're both mammals, and because they're both mammals, we group them together. We know that if they are both mammals, they breathe air with lungs, their young are born alive, and they feed them milk. So that was pretty much the main comparison that we could make. A lot of contrast though. Then we read about wildcats, and again, both of these are mammals, but they have much more in common. They're land dwelling, they're covered with thicker fur, they most of them climb trees. Most of the wildcats are able to climb trees, or to climb, just like koalas. So we saw again some ways to compare them. A lot of contrast though. These are herbivores, these are carnivores, these are animals that are slow moving and nocturnal. Wildcats tend to be quick and fast and awake during the daytime, although they are awake at night as well. Today, what we're going to do is read a book that's completely different. And while we might want to talk about comparing and contrasting, it might be really difficult to find some way to put them together. Also, I wanted to introduce this. This is another way to record main idea. There are a lot of different ways that you'll be instructed to use graphic organizers to organize your thoughts and what you're learning from what you're reading. So I wanted you to see that you don't have to only use this circle. I like the fact that it has that central idea, the circle in the middle. But this is another way. This could be the main idea is at the top of your thinking, and then we have details. So we're going to use this graphic organizer for the book that we're about to read instead of using these. I just put these up here to remind you what we were using. So I'm actually going to take them down right now. This is our graphic organizer for wildcats, and this was our graphic organizer for koalas. So we're going to put those aside. We're going to add this new one, and then we're going to review that poster over there about finding the main idea. Okay, so before I pull the book out, I want to remind you, how can I find the main idea in a nonfiction text? Before reading, we can look at the title. We can look at text features. Now, the book we're reading doesn't have a lot of diagrams and headings, but it does have a way for us to figure that out. While we're reading, we can ask ourselves, what are the words that get repeated? What are the pictures that we see over and over again? What kind of headings, if there are passages that have headings? After we're done, we go back and we say, well, let me look back through. What headings did I see? What important ideas was I hearing, and what do they all have in common? And then that will bring us to the conclusion. The main idea is the most important part of the text that the author wants you to know. So that gets back to author's purpose. Most nonfiction is written to inform. And the three reasons that text is usually written: one is to persuade or convince you of an idea or a thought. One is to entertain or give you pleasure. You're enjoying reading about a character like the Magic Tree House. And the other is to inform. And sometimes they can crisscross. So an article that's trying to persuade you of something might have information in it. It might also inform. Books that entertain can also inform. In fact, we're going to read one of those tomorrow. This is our book for today. This is called Volcanoes, Mountains That Blow Their Tops. Well, we're going to think about, before reading, what's the title? You read the title, Volcanoes, Mountains That Blow Their Top. Written by Nicholas Narglatis, illustrated by Michael Badenick. Now I want you to notice, it looks like the illustrations are actually made with layers of fabric and paper. So it's a really interesting illustration type of illustration. So illustrators don't have to just draw. They can use other media to make pictures. So, it is a quiet day on an island, or so it seems. Let's go back. Mountains that blow their top. Suggesting, right? Suddenly, a mountain starts to shake. Clouds of smoke shoot from the top. The mountain smokes for days and days. Remember the Magic Tree House? I think we read something about a volcano in one of the Magic Tree House books. Then it happens. Kaboom! The mountain blows its top. A red-hot cloud of ash bursts out. It burns the town in minutes. It happened. Just 2 people get away. One is a girl. She knows a cave. She used to play there. She takes a boat to the cave and she is safe. The other is a man. He is safe in a jail underground. This is a true story. It happened in 1902. Mount Pelée is the name of the mountain. So, and there's a pronunciation guide, Mount Pelée, or Pelée. It is on the island of Martinique in the Atlantic Ocean. Mount Pelée is a special kind of mountain. It is a volcano. So I'm going to let you see where it is, which is another, this is sort of a diagram, a map. So here's Martinique. They put a line there. And over here you see this is the state of Florida. So these are islands off the coast of Florida. And Martinique is kind of close to South America. Sort of closer to South America than Florida. Long ago, people thought a god of fire lived inside volcanoes. They thought he liked to move from one volcano to another. Every time he moved, he stirred things up. Today, we know the facts. Volcanoes start deep in the earth. So, that's not true. It was a belief, though. The earth is round like an orange. It is made of layers of rock. The top layer is called the crust. So here's an illustration or a diagram. Here's the crust. It is like the skin of the orange, the crust. The layer below is called the mantle, this part. The mantle is very hot, so some of the rock melts. The melted rock is called magma. So when it comes into that volcano-like area, it's called magma. We don't call it lava until it's actually coming out of the volcano. The top layers of the earth are made up of many pieces. These pieces are called plates. The red lines show where the plates meet. This is where most volcanoes happen. So if you're wondering where the volcanoes are, they're all along these red lines here. So if you look at where Florida is, and the islands are not drawn here, but it could be along there. The plates are always moving very, very slowly because there's molten stuff underneath, so they shift. Some plates push against each other. Some plates pull away from each other. So they're constantly doing this kind of stuff. The magma is moving too. It pushes up on the plates. Sometimes the magma finds a crack between the plates. So there's sort of to show you that magma is kind of seeping through. I've heard this compared to like a pie. If you bake a pie, sometimes there will be a crack in the crust, and the hot contents, whether it's like blueberry stuff or something, will come out of those cracks. Then spurt, out it comes. This is the start of a volcano. The magma bubbles up a tube. The tube is like a long straw. At the top is a hole. The hole is called a crater. And when we say hole, it's not like a little tiny straw hole. It's usually quite large. The magma spills out of the crater. Now the magma is called lava. Are you thinking about what details we're finding out? What is our main idea? What do you see a lot of pictures of in this book? There's no heading, so we can't use those to help us. Lots of pictures and words that are, well, I've heard the word lava, I've heard the word magma. Quite so sure. All right, well, let's keep reading. There are two kinds of lava. One kind is soft and runny and red hot. It flows in fast, fiery rivers from the volcano. I do keep hearing the word volcano. As the lava cools, it turns back into smooth rock. So actually, there's something called the rock cycle, and lava that cools is a kind of rock. There's a kind of rock called lava rock, and it's made from lava. The other kind of lava flows much more slowly. Sometimes it sprays out of the crater in the sky. In the air, the lava hardens into sharp rocks and ash. Then black clouds of ash fill the sky. They block out the sun, so it is dark even at noon. Not many people get to see a volcano being born, but 50 years ago one boy did. He lived in Mexico. One day he was helping his father on their farm. Suddenly the earth split open. Smoke and ash shot into the air. The boy and his father ran to warn the people in town. Ash and rock kept shooting up. A hill started to grow. See? By the next day, the hill was as tall as 10 houses. The fireworks went on for 9 years. The farm was gone, the town was gone, and in their place was a new volcano. I keep hearing that word volcano. I hear lava, I hear magma, but I also hear volcano, I think, more often. Some volcanoes start at the bottom of the sea, where no one can see them. The ocean floor splits open. Hot lava pours out. The lava cools and hardens. The volcano grows. Slowly it rises above the water, and this is how some islands have been made. This is the Pacific Ocean. There's a kind of a map, sort of diagram. Where are the most volcanoes? Around the Pacific Ocean. The volcanoes form a ring. It is called the Ring of Fire. So you see that it goes around like that. So just so you know, this is the United States, North America, South America. Over here is Australia, and this is Asia. Are there volcanoes in the United States? Yes. And I sort of remember this. Mount St. Helens is in Washington State. In 1980, it erupted. This is Mount St. Helens before it erupted. It looks just like a mountain, like you would go skiing on it or something. This is Mount St. Helens after it erupted. Snow-covered mountain there. Hawaii has the biggest and busiest volcanoes in the world. Mauna Loa is the biggest. Kilauea is the busiest. So let me see if I can say this right. Kilauea. I never say it right. Kilauea and Mauna Loa. Kilauea has been erupting on and off for 100 years. It is called the drive-in volcano. You can drive or even walk around its giant crater. Who knows, you might just see a lava fire show there. So if you do that, you know, you have to be careful. Can volcanoes do any good? Yes. Over time, ash and lava turn into rich soil. The soil is good for farming. There. Or you can turn the farm into a volcano. Volcanoes also tell us about the past. 2,000 years ago, a volcano erupted in Italy. It buried the city of Pompeii under ash. Now people are digging up Pompeii. The ash preserved everything, even the shapes of the people. Oops, I'm sorry, I should show you that picture. They actually dug up people that had been covered by ash, and they were actually still in the shape of a person. Today, scientists can usually tell when a volcano will erupt. They have special tools. They watch the movement of the volcano. They take its temperature. Sometimes a volcano swells or the ground gets hot. Then it is time to watch out. Let me think again. What are the repeated words, the repeated pictures? What are you seeing again and again and again? There are about 500 active volcanoes in the world. This map shows where most of them are found. You'll notice that none of them are in Philadelphia. Don't worry. Active means the volcano can erupt at any time. Other volcanoes are inactive. They have been dead for thousands of years, which means that they're not spitting lava or anything. And then there are volcanoes that are only sleeping. Now they are quiet, but who knows when they will wake up. That's the end. So, based on what you were hearing, what do you think is the main idea in these passages? Well, it sounds to me like I heard the word volcano many times. I saw pictures of volcanoes many times. So I'm going to put my main idea, volcanoes, and we did have a subtitle here, which we could put as our main idea. So I'm going to put volcanoes blow their tops. What kind of details did we have? Remember? You can always look back, or you can rewatch this video. So what I'm going to challenge you to do, and I'm going to make this particular graphic organizer available to you, is to try and write in a detail that you remember about volcanoes. I showed you a few diagrams. I'm going to quickly show you those again, but I want you to try and do this. We cannot very well compare or contrast it with our koalas, our wildcats, or our dolphins, because they're so drastically different. This is not a living thing. Dolphins, wildcats, and koalas are all living things. These are things that are found throughout the world, including in the ocean. So I guess you could say that they're like wildcats because they're found all over the world. They're like dolphins because they're found in the ocean. Might be able to do that, but there's so little else that's in common with them. So I want you to think about it, and I'm going to quickly show you some things that I showed you before. The plates, the eruption in Martinique, how it can destroy towns, that there are some volcanoes in the United States, particularly Hawaii, that when they erupt, the lava flows down from the sides of the volcano. We also said that there is something called magma down below. That's where lava is coming from, is here. We looked at the inner core. That's extremely, extremely hot, hotter than this. And the mantle right here, where all that hot liquid stuff is, which then pushes up is called magma until it comes out of the volcano. So there might be some details there. You'll only need to mention 3 of them. And then we're going to read a book tomorrow that might also be an opportunity for you to compare and contrast. All right, guys, that's enough for now. We've got our new main idea graphic organizer, and I wish you well with this. Bye-bye.